Hello, my friend. Welcome to Haein Yoga. In this session, we will be practicing yoga for the heart. It's an all-level functional therapeutic yoga to support your heart both emotionally and physically. Through this session, you will be learn to expand your capacity to open as well as to protect your heart. My aim is for you to have a sense of agency. By having an option to protect and knowing how to, you will be much more resourced to really open and choose to open. An element that I would like to invite for our practice today is pendulation. It means moving between opening and closing, between arousal and calmness, between titration and resourcing. What's important here is not necessarily where you are, but your ability to move between what seems to be the opposite, freely and fluently. Okay, are you ready? Let's start in seated position. I'm going to invite us to have a moment to sit with our heart as we are going into this space. It is only natural for me to get to know that place, to check in with that space. So have your hands on your heart. Could be both hands or just one hand. And as you place your hands on your heart, taking that as a gesture to meet, to come in a direct connection with your heart. And just few breaths here with your eyes closed, listening, attending to what is present in your heart right now. Turning your ears, turning your eyes, turning your nose inwardly, listening, feeling, hearing and smelling, sensing. What's going on in your heart? What's taking place right now in your heart? Take a few deep breaths in, and as you breathe into your chest, notice how your chest and your heart is expanding. And feel that swelling of the heart into your hands. Letting your body know without any doubt that this alive heart, this moving heart, this breathing heart, this beating heart. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. And even with eyes open, being in contact with your heart. Part of you listening and being aware of what's outside, and part of you being aware of what is going on inside. Interlock your fingers behind your head. And as you inhale, gently bring your elbows backward. And as you do that, notice how your shoulder blades are coming close to each other. As your back of the heart is closing, contracting, the front of your heart is opening. And as you exhale, head down and bring your elbows as close as possible to each other. Keep your shoulders down, shoulder blades away from each other. Now, the front of your heart is contracting and the back of your heart is opening. One more time, inhale, open the front of the heart, lift up the chest and gently look up without dropping the head back. Exhale, open the back of the heart and have your front of the heart be in supportive role for that. One more time, inhale, lift up and open, and exhale. Okay, and slowly release. Come to tabletop. As you inhale, lift up the chest, gently look forward, opening the front. And as you exhale, contracting the front and opening your back. Let's repeat this few times. Keep your focus on your chest area, both front and the back, and notice how one part is opening and how the other part is contracting. Moving with your breath and being aware how you're moving from opening to closing and closing to opening. And at the same time, how within the openness, how there is an element of closeness, and within the realm of closeness, how there is an element of openness. Just like how the front of the heart is opening and the back of the heart is closing. Now, let's inhale together and arch, open your chest. And as you exhale, round your back. As you round your back, tuck your toes under, lift up your knees, come to downward facing dog. We're going to repeat this few times. Inhale, go forward to tabletop. As you arrive to the tabletop, arch. Inhale and exhale, round your back. Come up to downward facing dog. 3 more times. Inhale, forward, arch and tabletop. Exhale, round your back. Downward facing dog. One more. Inhale, forward, tabletop, arch. Exhale, round, and downward facing dog. Inhale, go forward, and let's meet in tabletop. As you inhale, bring your left arm up, reaching up to the ceiling, opening the chest to the side, and slowly bring it down. Actually, let's adjust a little bit. Bring the knees a bit wider than the hips, and let's repeat again. Left arm goes up, open the chest to the side. Your hips can swing. You can lean to your left. That's okay, so that you have a more range of motion. And as you exhale, slowly coming down. Try to keep the right shoulder on top of your right arm and go up again, open to your left side. And exhale, coming down. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, the same arm, left arm up. And exhale, coming down. This time, your left arm will pass through the back behind your right arm. Reaching down to the floor with your left shoulder. And readjust your right arm in a way that your right elbow becomes 90 degrees and your right hand underneath your elbow, so that you can push really well both with your right hand and your left arm against the floor. All of them pushing against the floor to have your chest open to your right side. Your knees are still hip wide distance, but here just be aware not to lean too much to your left side. Try to have the hips in between your knees. And slowly coming back to table pose. And we continue on the other side. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, coming down. 2 more times. Inhale, up. And exhale, coming down. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Pass through the left arm with your right arm. Reaching down to the floor with your right shoulder. Your hips stay on top of your knees. Readjust your left hand so that your arms are placed in a way that you can really push well against the floor to open your chest to your left side this time. Widen your collarbone. Your head will follow as your chest turns. And it is important that you feel the weight on your knees, mostly, not all on your head. And with next inhalation, let's slowly come back to the center, back to tabletop. Have your knees hip wide distance, and then just sit back for a moment. Interlock your fingers behind your hips. Try to have your heels of the palm together. Roll the shoulders away from your ears. Bring your shoulder blades close to each other. Now, you're going to place your forehead on the floor pretty far away from you. And then roll over to the top of the head. It's important that you stop at the top of the head, not going further. And once you arrive to the top of the head, then you slowly bring your arms over the head. With your head, push against the floor so that you are not constantly rolling with your head. That will be too much stretch for your neck. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. One more breath. Shoulder blades close to each other. And slowly release your arms. Bring your arms back down to the hips. Lower the hips and back to your forehead. Child pose. Release your arms. Let your arms rest on the side of your legs. One breath. And let's slowly come back up. Have your hands in a prayer position. You can stay in kneeling position or in cross-leg position, however that's comfortable for you. Keep your hands in a prayer position and press your hands against each other. Bring your shoulder blades as far away as possible, closing the front and opening the back of the heart. Inhale, open your hands, bring your elbows aligned with your shoulder and gently pull back. Bringing the shoulder blades close to each other, closing the back of the heart, opening the front of the heart. Let's repeat this one more time. Exhale, closing, hands in a prayer position. Inhale, open. And exhale, release. We're going to cross the arm this time. Have your left arm underneath your right arm, crossing around the elbows. Cross the elbows and then hook your hands. You may be able to just catch your finger. You may be able to catch your palm. Wherever you can catch, so that you have this double knot in your elbow and in your hand. Now, from here, have your thumb rest against your forehead for now. And bring your shoulder blades away from each other and slowly lift up your elbows away from the floor while keeping your shoulders down. You will feel quite a lot of tension. And then from here, slowly, keeping your elbows up, slowly bring your hands away from your forehead. Move slowly as it brings quite a lot of tension. Keep your shoulders down. Relax your jaws and your neck. Okay. And what is important here is how we come out of the position. You right now, probably you are feeling quite a lot of tension. And we want to come out of this really gradually and gently. A bit like ice melting, seamless fluid. so that we can re-educate those parts of the body that is often tensed. To teach how to relax. Let's continue to the other side. Bring your arms up. Right arm down and left arm up. Hook, hook. Rest the hands against the forehead. Lift up the elbows first. Shoulders wide and away from your ears. Shoulder blades away from each other. And then slowly bring your hands away from your forehead while keeping your shoulders away. Again, it is not a really comfortable posture. It's a bit like you are increasing the tension, but what's amazing is that you are increasing the tension consciously. Often you are tensed without knowing. We are tensed, stressed without knowing. But here, you actually have control of that stress, of that tension. And in that way, we are overriding that program. That's why it can be so effective as you release, because you have overridden that program. So you can rewrite. Slowly release. Let your arms rest on your thigh and continue dropping, continue relaxing. Continue letting go. Well done. Now, just one last posture before we go into resting pose. Have your knees hip-wide distance right on top of your hips. Walk your hands away from you while keeping your hips on top of your knees. Gently lower your chest down towards the ground. You may be on your forehead, you may be on your chin. Just make sure that you don't rest against your head too much. I actually prefer to keep my head away from the floor so that the weight does not go into my neck, but really all directed towards my chest. Now, a typical heart opening posture. I want you to really feel how the closeness in the back supports the openness of the front. Like really seeing how in one posture, in everything actually, anything that is whole, within that there are those two opposite, what seems to be in polarity, living together in harmony, dancing. So be aware of those two qualities, closeness and openness, and hold them together. Be the space that is spacious enough to hold both. One more breath here. And slowly release. Come to child pose. And we're going to finish in lying down position. You can use a block or books or just simply roll your yoga mat and place it underneath your shoulder blades. So that when you are in lying down position, your heart is lifted up and passively it supports the front of your chest to stretch and back of your heart to relax. it is important that you feel that the height in the middle of your chest, not in your sternum or on your neck. So you might need to adjust where the block or the rolled yoga mat goes. Also, if you find your head is tilt back too much, then place a blanket or a cushion underneath your head so that this curve, this arch is, how to say, more smooth. Just a couple more breaths here. You may not feel like much, but as you relax into it, the magic starts to happen. It's a bit like when you stop working, the house elves come out and do their job. What I mean by that is when you stop working, there is a universal consciousness that comes out and play much more in the front. So a couple more breaths here, and if you have more time, you're welcome to just pause the video and rest here for 5-10 minutes. If you are coming out of the position, just come out gently. Bring your knees up, place your feet on the ground, and roll down your hips and slowly support your way back up in as gentle way as possible. Thank you everyone for joining me on this video. A question I want to leave you to contemplate to finish this session is, how's your relationship with your heart? The word heart became so popular in well-being scene, in my case, because heart means so much and used everywhere for everything and anything. Sometimes I find it hard to really connect to the meaning of the heart. So this question is an invitation to find your own meaning of the heart, so that when we use that word, it's an alive word, an experiential word, and not just a concept. Okay. Comment below if you like this video, give a thumb up, and subscribe to my channel for weekly yoga practice. I wish you a beautiful day and see you next week. Let's shine on.